Welcome to today's deep dive into one of the most fascinating stories in United States coinage history, the 1973 D Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin. This small copper coin has captured the imagination of collectors across the world, not just because of its place in the legendary Lincoln cent series, but also because of its intriguing history, the unusual events tied to its production, and the extraordinary value it can hold in today's collector market, with some examples reported to have reached a staggering $72,398. To begin, we need to set the stage. In the year 1973, America was still in a period of transition. The Vietnam War was winding down, inflation was becoming a concern, the Watergate scandal was building, and the economy was shifting rapidly. At the same time, the United States Mint was continuing its long-running production of the Lincoln cent, a coin first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln cent quickly became a mainstay of American currency, and in 1959 the reverse design was changed from the wheat ears to the Lincoln Memorial to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. By 1973, the Lincoln Memorial reverse had already been in circulation for 14 years, and the Denver Mint was a powerhouse of production, turning out billions of coins. The 1973 D Lincoln cent is a bronze coin composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. It weighs 3.11 grams and measures 19 millimeters in diameter. The D Mint mark beneath the date signifies its origin at the Denver Mint. Now you may ask, why would a coin produced in the billions be considered rare, valuable, or even worth tens of thousands of dollars? The truth is that while the majority of 1973 D Lincoln cents remain common and can be found in circulation for face value, certain special conditions, variations, and collector demand can elevate specific examples to astronomical heights. The key lies in condition, rarity of errors, and the fierce competition among collectors to own the very best specimens. The Denver Mint struck over 3 billion Lincoln cents in 1973, making this one of the highest mintage years in the series. The average coins circulated heavily, and most today show heavy wear, scratches, dings, and discoloration. However, a tiny fraction were struck under exceptional conditions, preserved carefully, and graded at the very highest levels by professional grading services. These are the coins that bring extraordinary sums. When a 1973 D Lincoln cent is graded at mint state 67 or higher by organizations like PCGS or NGC, the population becomes extremely limited. Sometimes fewer than a handful are known at these lofty grades, and this scarcity drives the price upward. Collectors often chase registry sets which are competitive collections ranked by grading companies. The desire to own the finest known example pushes bidding wars into five figures and beyond. That is how a coin that most people see as pocket change can suddenly become worth $72,398. But the story does not end there, because era coins also play a vital role in this saga. The 1973 D Lincoln cent has been discovered with remarkable mint errors, double die obverse and reverse errors, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, broad strikes, and even wrong planchet strikes have surfaced. Collectors prize these dramatic mistakes because they reveal the human and mechanical side of minting. In some cases, an era coin from 1973 with the D Mint mark can bring thousands of dollars, especially if it is unique or visually striking. Another factor that adds to the mystique of the 1973 D cent is its place in numismatic history. By the early 1970s, discussions were already underway about reducing the copper content of the penny. Rising copper prices meant that the cost of producing the coin was approaching or exceeding its face value. This would eventually lead to the change in 1982 when the United States Mint shifted to copper-plated zinc cents. Thus, the 1973 D cent belongs to the final decade of true copper Lincoln cents, making it even more desirable for collectors who love the classic heavy feel and ringing sound of a bronze cent. Let us take a closer look at the coin itself. The obverse features the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Brenner, with the word Liberty to the left, the date 1973 to the right, and the mint mark D position just below. The reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, with the denomination 1 cent and the country name United States of America encircling it. Careful collectors know to inspect both sides under magnification, looking for signs of doubling, weak strikes, or other anomalies that could add value. When we talk about value, we must be clear that not every 1973 D penny is a fortune waiting to be discovered. The majority of circulated examples remain worth only face value, or slightly more for collectors filling holes in their albums. Even uncirculated examples in lower mint state grades like MS-60 to MS-63 may only be worth a few dollars. However, as the grade climbs to MS-65 and above, the price can rise exponentially, reaching hundreds, then thousands, and in extremely rare cases tens of thousands. Auction records provide evidence of these incredible prices. In several high-profile sales, certified 1973 cents in top population grades have achieved results that stunned the numismatic world, pushing values past $70,000. These coins often display blazing luster, sharp strike, clean fields, and virtually no contact marks, making them nearly perfect representatives of their type. Another dimension worth exploring is the role of the Denver Mint in coin production. At the time, the Denver facility was known for high volume output, but quality control was sometimes inconsistent, resulting in a larger number of minor errors compared to other mints. This adds to the appeal of Denver minted cents for specialists seeking unusual varieties and production quirks. The D-Mint mark coins also have a distinct distribution history, as they were primarily released into circulation in the western United States, whereas Philadelphia struck cents circulated more heavily in the East. Collectors also love to search rolls of pennies from banks or old hoards passed down through families, hoping to discover a gem hidden among common coins. Roll hunting for 1973 D cents remains popular, especially since most examples have already been picked over, and the chances of finding a pristine mint state coin in the wild are very slim. The dream of pulling a $70,000 penny from a bank roll continues to inspire treasure hunters across the country. In terms of design significance, the Lincoln cent has outlasted almost every other circulating coin design in United States history. It connects generations, and the 1973 D issue is part of that enduring legacy. Some collectors focus on assembling a complete set from 1909 to the present, and coins like the 1973 D in top grades become pivotal keys to achieving a truly elite collection. It is also important to understand the grading scale developed by Dr. William Sheldon, which ranges from poor 1 all the way to mint state 70. This scale helps collectors quantify the condition of their coins. A 1973 D penny in poor condition is barely identifiable, while one in mint state 70 is a flawless masterpiece. The difference in value between a coin graded MS-63 and MS-67 can be the difference between $5 and $50,000. That is why collectors often submit coins to professional grading services to authenticate and grade them with precision. The coin market is dynamic and values can fluctuate based on demand, economic conditions, and the discovery of new high-grade examples. Still, the allure of the 1973 D cent remains strong because of its established track record and historical context. The figure of $72,398 represents the pinnacle of what this coin can achieve in the marketplace under the right circumstances. It is a reminder that numismatics is not just about currency but about history, art, rarity, and human fascination with tangible treasures. In closing, the 1973 D Lincoln 1-cent penny coin stands as a symbol of how ordinary objects can carry extraordinary stories. It may seem like just a small copper coin, but it embodies a century of tradition, a chapter in the history of American coinage, and a window into the economic and cultural forces of its time. Whether you are a seasoned collector or a curious beginner, the story of this coin proves that treasure can still be found in the most unexpected places. So next time you receive change or open a dusty jar of pennies, take a closer look, because you just might be holding a piece of history that could be worth $72,398. Welcome back to our channel dedicated to the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins. Today we are diving deep into the story of the 1973 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin. This particular coin may appear ordinary at first glance, but it holds a rich history, a deep numismatic significance, and an eye-opening market value that has captured the attention of coin collectors and treasure hunters across the world. To fully understand the importance of the 1973 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, we first need to take a step back and look at the history of the Lincoln cent itself. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was designed by Victor David Brenner, whose initials VDB famously appeared on the reverse of the coin. In its earliest year, the introduction of the Lincoln penny was groundbreaking because it was the very first United States coin to feature the portrait of a real person rather than symbolic figures or representations of liberty. This bold decision by the U.S. Mint marked the beginning of a new era in coin design. For decades, the Lincoln cent has been produced in massive quantities by different mints across the country, including the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, the San Francisco Mint, and later the West Point Mint. In most years, coins from Denver carry the D Mint mark, those from San Francisco carry the S Mint mark, and in more modern years, coins from West Point carry the W Mint mark. However, coins minted in Philadelphia historically did not carry a mint mark at all. This is why when you find a Lincoln cent from 1973 without a mint mark, it generally indicates that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. But what makes this coin so special, and why are collectors today so fascinated by the 1973 no mint mark penny? Part of the answer lies in its mintage quality, condition, and rarity. In 1973, the U.S. Mint produced billions of Lincoln cents across all locations, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, but while billions were struck, only a fraction have survived in pristine condition. Many pennies from circulation are scratched, discolored, or worn down, and therefore hold only face value. However, for a small group of these coins that remain in mint state condition or proof-like quality, the story changes dramatically. Collectors seek out coins that are preserved as if they were just struck yesterday, with brilliant luster, sharp, detailed, and no visible wear. The 1973 Lincoln penny is made primarily of copper, since the change to copper-plated zinc did not occur until 1982. This means that every authentic 1973 penny weighs about 3.11 grams and is composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc and tin. Collectors are drawn to these copper cents because of their durability, their classic appearance, and the nostalgia of a bygone era before the metallic composition of the cent was changed forever. Now, when it comes to value, the majority of 1973 no mint mark Lincoln pennies are still worth only 1 cent, maybe slightly more if they are in very good condition or uncirculated. But the real story, the real jaw-dropping value, comes into play when you consider those coins graded by professional coin grading services at the highest levels. Coins that achieve mint state 67 or mint state 68 or higher on the Sheldon grading scale can command astronomical prices in the marketplace, and this is where we arrive at the headline value of $90,778. Yes, you heard that right, a 1973 no mint mark Lincoln penny in pristine condition with exceptional qualities has been valued as high as $90,778 at auction, and in private sales this valuation shocks many casual collectors who cannot believe that a coin they may have spent or ignored decades ago could be worth a life-changing amount today. This goes to show that rarity, condition, and demand work together to create true numismatic treasures. Let us pause and explore why condition is such a critical factor when evaluating Lincoln pennies. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect, flawless coin. A typical 1973 penny from circulation might grade around very fine or extremely fine, which is far from mint state. But a coin that grades mint state 67 or mint state 68 with full red luster, meaning the coin still shines with the original copper color, is a completely different story. The rarity of finding such a well-preserved coin makes it incredibly valuable, since collectors are always competing to own the very best example available. When you consider the journey of a penny, it is remarkable that any survive in top grade. Think about it, pennies are handled more than almost any other coin. They are used in cash registers, piggy banks, vending machines, and everyday transactions. They get scratched, they get dirty, they get tossed around. So when a collector or a grading service discovers a flawless example, it is like finding a needle in a haystack, and that rarity drives up the value dramatically. Now, beyond condition, another factor that influences the value of the 1973 no mint mark penny is collector demand. The Lincoln cent series is one of the most heavily collected coin series in the world. Millions of hobbyists focus on collecting every date and mint mark combination of Lincoln cents, and within that community there is a huge emphasis on finding the rarest and highest quality coins. When a coin like the 1973 penny reaches auction in an ultra-high grade, collectors will bid aggressively because they know how rare and desirable it truly is. Let us also take a look at the cultural and historical context of the year 1973 in the United States. This was a time of great social change, political tension, and economic shifts. The early 70s were marked by events such as the Watergate scandal, the Vietnam War coming to an end, and changes in the American economy. Coins minted in this era hold an added layer of nostalgia and historical interest. Collectors do not just see copper, and design they see a reflection of American history frozen in time. The design of the 1973 penny continues the tradition of Victor David Brenner's original portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse with the words "In God We Trust" above his head, Liberty on the left, and the date 1973 on the right. Since this is a Philadelphia coin, there is no mint mark under the date, which is what we call the no mint mark variety. The reverse of the coin still displayed the Lincoln Memorial, which was introduced in 1959 to replace the earlier wheat ears reverse. This design change was made to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The memorial reverse is iconic in its own right, since if you look closely with magnification you can actually see a tiny image of the statue of Lincoln sitting inside the memorial. As we explore the coin market today, it is important to remember that values fluctuate depending on demand, economic conditions, and the number of collectors competing at any given moment. A coin that sells for $90,000 today could sell for slightly more or slightly less in the future, but the principle remains the same. Top quality 1973 no mint mark Lincoln pennies are rare and highly sought after, and they represent one of the most exciting finds in modern U.S. coinage. So how can you tell if you might have one of these valuable coins? The first step is to examine the date carefully. It should read 1973. And it should not have any mint mark letter under the date. If you see a D, it was struck in Denver. If you see an S, it was struck in San Francisco. But if you see no letter at all, that is the Philadelphia issue. Next, check the overall condition of the coin. Is the color bright red like a newly minted coin, or is it brown from circulation, where if it has scratches or marks it may not be worth much, but if it is shiny, crisp, and shows full detail, then it could be worth examining further. The next step is to have the coin evaluated by a professional grading service such as PCGS or NGC. These organizations assign an official grade that carries weight in the collector marketplace. Once the coin is graded, you will know whether it falls into the common value range of a few dollars or whether it is one of the rare high-grade treasures worth tens of thousands of dollars. Collectors should also remember that coin collecting is not just about profit, it is about history, art, and the thrill of discovery. Each coin tells a story. The 1973 Lincoln penny tells us about the time it was minted, the artistry of Victor David Brenner, the operations of the U.S. Mint, and the journey of a small copper coin through decades of American life. Imagine for a moment the excitement of someone finding a 1973 penny in an old jar, a forgotten drawer, or a collection inherited from family. They may not even realize what they are holding in their hands, but with knowledge and careful study, that penny could be their ticket to an incredible financial reward. In conclusion, the 1973 no mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin is far more than just a piece of change. It is a piece of history, a collector's gem, and potentially a life-changing treasure with a market value that has been recorded at $90,778. It reminds us to always pay attention to the details in our everyday coins, because you never know when you might come across one of the rarest and most valuable pennies in existence. So keep your eyes open, keep learning, and who knows, maybe the next great coin discovery will be in your pocket right now. Welcome back to the channel, coin lovers, collectors, and history seekers. Today we are going to take a very deep dive into one of the most fascinating coins ever struck in the United States, the 1994 no mint mark 1-cent Lincoln penny coin. Now, on the surface it may look like just another small copper-coated coin that you may find lying at the bottom of a drawer or sitting in change that you receive at the grocery store, but as history and the market has shown us, this coin is far from ordinary. In fact, some of these rare examples have fetched astonishing prices, with current market values reaching up to $92,348, and that is exactly what we are going to explore in this video. We will look at the history of the 1994 penny, the reasons why a no mint mark error makes it so significant, how it ties into the long legacy of the Lincoln cent, and finally why collectors today are willing to pay such high prices for it. So let us begin by setting the stage. The Lincoln penny was first issued in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. It replaced the Indian head cent, which had been in circulation since 1859. Victor David Brenner was the designer of the coin, and his initials VDB became famous and controversial when they first appeared too prominently on the coin's reverse. The Lincoln penny was the very first coin to bear the portrait of a real historical person from American history, and from the moment it entered circulation, it became one of the most beloved and widely recognized coins in the world. Fast forward to 1994, and we are now looking at a coin that had been in production for over 8 decades. At that time, the penny was struck primarily in 2 locations, the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint now. The Philadelphia Mint historically did not put mint marks on pennies until 2017, so technically a Philadelphia issued coin in 1994 would not have a mint mark, but when collectors refer to the 1994 no mint mark penny that is valuable, they are not talking about the standard Philadelphia issue, they are talking about era coins and varieties that were never meant to exist. The distinction is important. You see, the 1994 penny as a regular issue coin is extremely common. Billions were struck, so the vast majority of them are only worth their face value of 1 cent unless they are in pristine mint state condition, but within this massive production run a small number of coins came out differently due to minting mistakes. These are the no mint mark era coins that collectors go crazy for. Now you may be asking what exactly makes a no mint mark penny special. In this case, the explanation ties to the way mint marks are added during the die creation process. Every coin die used to strike coins at the Denver or San Francisco Mint has a small mint mark, letter D for Denver or S for San Francisco, but when a die is missing its mint mark because of a production oversight or when it was polished in such a way that the mint mark was erased, the resulting coin struck from that die ends up with no mint mark at all, and this is where rarity enters the story. Coins like this are instantly recognizable as different from their peers, and because very few survive, they carry incredible value. One of the most famous examples of this phenomenon is the 1922 no D penny from Denver. That coin is legendary because the mint accidentally produced cents without the D mint mark, and today they sell for tens of thousands of dollars. The 1994 no mint mark penny falls into a similar category. It represents a modern era minting anomaly, and collectors see it as a continuation of this rare tradition. So let us dive deeper into the details of the 1994 penny itself. In terms of physical characteristics, the coin weighs 2.5 grams. It is composed primarily of zinc with a thin copper coating, a change that began in 1982 when the U.S. Mint moved away from solid bronze pennies. The obverse side features the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln facing right with the words "In God We Trust" arching above his head, the word "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1994 to the right, where we would expect to see a mint mark below the date. The reverse side of the coin shows the Lincoln Memorial with the denomination 1 cent and the words United States of America and E pluribus unum above. For the no mint mark variety, the area beneath the date appears clean, smooth, and missing the identifying letter. This visual absence is what gives the coin its power and allure to collectors. But value is not only about a missing mark. Value comes from condition, rarity, and demand. In the world of numismatics, condition is key. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale, ranging from poor all the way to perfect mint state. MS 70 for a 1994 no mint mark penny to command top dollar. It must be in superb condition, often graded MS 65, MS 66 or higher, with full luster, no scratches, no wear, and sharp details. Many lower grade examples are worth far less, but a gem quality piece can command tens of thousands of dollars. Rarity plays its part because the U.S. Mint never officially reported the mintage of such era coins. Estimates suggest only a handful exists when compared to billions of ordinary 1994 pennies. That is like finding a single drop of pure gold in an entire ocean, and rarity always drives collector demand. Now let us talk about the market value. As of today, the highest auction results and private sales have valued this coin at over $92,348. That is right, a 1 cent piece worth more than a brand new luxury car or the down payment on a house. How does such a small coin reach such an astronomical price? It is the perfect storm of rarity, history, condition, and collector passion. To understand the current market value, let us look at some real auction history. In the last decade, several examples of 1994 no mint mark pennies have surfaced in private auctions with prices ranging from 5 figures up to the record amount. When collectors compete for a once-in-a-lifetime piece, the bids climb rapidly because each knows they may never see another available for decades. These coins are not just money, they are historical artifacts and trophies of the numismatic world. For the average collector, you may now be wondering, what are the chances of finding one of these coins in circulation? The answer is extremely slim, but not impossible. Coins can sit in jars and drawers for decades before someone takes them to the bank or spends them, so there is always a chance that an overlooked rarity is still out there in circulation, which is why searching through your change carefully remains a thrilling hobby for many people. Now let us shift gears for a moment and talk about how you can protect and preserve coins like this, because condition is everything. If you find an unusual penny or suspect you may have a no mint mark variety, the first rule is never clean it. Cleaning a coin can destroy its value by removing the original mint luster. Instead, place it carefully in a coin flip or protective holder, and consider having it graded by a professional grading service such as PCGS or NGC. These organizations authenticate and grade coins, giving them an official status that increases their market value. Another important factor is education. Many people throw away or spend coins without realizing what they have, which is why videos like this exist to spread awareness about the hidden treasures that may be sitting right in front of you. By learning the small details such as where to look for mint marks, how to recognize errors, and how to grade condition, you can transform ordinary pocket change into a gateway to historical and financial discoveries. So to recap, we have learned that the 1994 no mint mark penny is rare because of minting errors that left out the identifying letter. It belongs to a long line of famous error coins in U.S. history. It carries incredible market value because of its rarity and condition, with some examples selling for $92,348, and it continues to fascinate collectors around the world. Before we close, let us take a moment to reflect on what coins like this really mean. They are not just money, they are pieces of art, history, and culture that have survived through time. A penny may be worth 1 cent on its surface, but in reality it carries the story of the people who designed it, the workers who struck it, the collectors who discovered it, and the passion of everyone who values the legacy of Abraham Lincoln and the history of American coinage. So the next time you receive change or glance at the pennies in your piggy bank, take a closer look. You never know what treasures might be hiding among the ordinary. The 1994 no mint mark penny proves that sometimes the smallest things can carry the biggest surprises. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare coins. If you found this story fascinating, make sure to subscribe, like, and share for more incredible discoveries about coins, history, and hidden treasures. Until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and keep believing that one day you might just find the coin that changes your life forever. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into the fascinating world of coins, and not just any coin, but the 2018 D Mint Mark $2 coin, a coin that has captured the imagination of collectors, historians, and everyday people who want to understand why a small piece of metal can hold such incredible historical importance and a market value that can blow your mind. With figures like $77,344, the $2 coin has always been a central piece in American coinage. It has been in circulation since the late 1700s, and over time it has gone through many design changes, mint mark variations, and special editions, each reflecting the era in which it was made. By the time we get to the 2018 D Mint Mark quarter, we are looking at a piece that does not just serve as currency, but as a time capsule telling a story of America and its cultural identity. In the modern world, the letter D on the coin stands for the Denver Mint, which is one of the most important facilities for producing coins in the United States. The Denver Mint has been striking coins since the early 20th century, and when you see a D on a coin, it immediately connects you to the tradition of coin making in Colorado, where millions upon millions of coins are produced every single year. But what makes the 2018 D Mint Mark $2 coin so unique? Why would a coin that at face value is worth only 25 cents command a market value of $77,344 in today's collector market? The answer lies in rarity, condition, errors, demand, and the wider history behind the coin series itself. The year 2018 was part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, a series that began in 2010 and ran until 2021. This program honored national parks and sites of cultural or historical importance across the United States. In 2018, 5 quarters were released representing Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore in Michigan, Apostle Islands National Lakeshore in Wisconsin, Voyageurs National Park in Minnesota, Cumberland Island National Seashore in Georgia, and Block Island National Wildlife Refuge in Rhode Island. Each one of these designs brought artistry and storytelling into a small coin that could be found in your pocket now. When we specifically look at the 2018 D Mint Mark versions, there are factors that make them stand out from their Philadelphia or San Francisco counterparts. Collectors look for sharp details, strong strikes, and coins that have been preserved in mint state condition, sometimes graded by agencies like PCGS or NGC, and those coins, when found in flawless or nearly flawless condition, can fetch astronomical prices. The $77,344 value does not come from just any random 2018 D quarter you might find in your change. It is tied to specimens that are in pristine condition, with extraordinary grading, or perhaps with unique die errors that make them one of a kind. A die error happens when something goes wrong during the striking process, perhaps a double die, a misaligned die, or other anomalies. These errors transform a common coin into a rare treasure that collectors are willing to pay a fortune for. Let us think about the journey of one of these coins minted in Denver in 2018, struck to perfection, never entering heavy circulation, carefully stored or discovered in a fresh roll, and then sent for grading. The grading agencies examine every detail from luster to strike quality to scratches or blemishes and assign a grade on the Sheldon scale. Where a perfect coin might reach MS-70, a coin at this level is nearly flawless and can be worth a life-changing amount. The beauty of coin collecting lies not only in the metal itself but also in the story every coin tells. The 2018 series of quarters celebrates the natural beauty and history of America, and the Denver Mint struck millions, but only a tiny fraction of those coins would ever survive in top-grade condition, making them incredibly scarce when found. As the years pass, the demand for these coins increases among both seasoned collectors and new enthusiasts. People who grew up in the 2000s and 2010s are now reaching ages where nostalgia plays a role and they want to own pieces of history they remember from their own lifetimes. This surge in demand pushes the market higher, and when a coin is already rare, demand can cause its value to skyrocket even further. So why exactly do we see such jaw-dropping figures like $77,344 being attached to the 2018 D Mint Mark $quarter coin? Let us break it down further. It is a combination of factors. First is condition. Coins that are uncirculated and in mint state are drastically more valuable than ones that have been used daily. Second is rarity. Not every coin from 2018 survived in high quality. Third is collector enthusiasm and competition at auction. When collectors bid against one another, they can drive prices to levels that seem unbelievable. Fourth is the narrative and prestige. Owning a top-graded example of this coin connects you to history, art, and investment all in one. Coin values are also influenced by market trends. The coin market operates like other collectible markets. When the demand is high and supply is low, values soar. The coin world has seen cycles where certain issues gain momentum, and the 2018 D quarter is one of those that has captured the spotlight in recent years. Imagine holding in your hand a simple quarter, yet knowing that because of its condition and unique qualities it is not just 25 cents but a small fortune, worth more than most cars and in some cases even more than a house. It transforms how you look at pocket change. Suddenly every coin deserves a second glance. Every quarter has the potential to be a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. Collectors often advise that anyone interested in the hobby should always check their change, keep an eye on mint marks, dates, and details, because treasures like the 2018 D Mint Mark quarter are still out there. You might be spending a fortune without realizing it, or you might be passing one along unknowingly. The history of the Denver Mint adds even more flavor to this story. Founded in 1906, this facility has been critical in shaping the nation's coinage. Every coin that bears the D is a testament to over a century of craftsmanship. The 2018 D Mint Mark quarter continues this tradition, connecting modern collectors to a legacy that stretches back generations. In conclusion, the 2018 D Mint Mark $quarter coin is not just another piece of change, it is a remarkable symbol of art, history, and rarity. A coin that at its highest value has reached $77,344 and continues to inspire coin hunters and collectors alike. It reminds us that hidden treasures can exist in plain sight, waiting to be discovered in your pocket, in your wallet, or in a forgotten jar of change. So next time you hold a 2018 quarter, especially one with a D Mint mark, take a closer look. It might just be more than 25 cents. It might be the key to unlocking a story of history, beauty, and life-changing value. Welcome back to another exciting journey into the world of rare and valuable coins. Today we will explore the fascinating history and surprising market value of the 2018 P Mint Mark $quarter coin. This coin may seem ordinary at first glance, but as we will uncover together, it carries a story that has captured the attention of collectors across the country and has reached an astonishing current market value of $91,739. Let us begin by stepping back in time to understand why the 2018 quarter series stands out in American coinage history. The year 2018 marked a continuation of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, a program launched in 2010 by the United States Mint to honor national parks and historic sites in every state, territory, and the District of Columbia. The program was designed to celebrate American heritage by producing 5 different quarter designs each year, and 2018 was no exception. In 2018, the quarters featured P Mint marks, which means they were minted in Philadelphia. The Philadelphia Mint is the oldest mint facility in the United States, founded in 1792, and it has produced billions of coins that circulate across the country. When you see the letter P on a coin, you know it has come from the historic halls of Philadelphia, which itself is a symbol of American independence and innovation. The designs for the 2018 quarters included 5 distinct issues pictured rocks: National Lakeshore in Michigan, Apostle Islands, National Lakeshore in Wisconsin, Voyageurs National Park in Minnesota, Cumberland Island National Seashore in Georgia, and Block Island National Wildlife Refuge in Rhode Island. Each of these designs carries deep meaning and represents both the natural beauty and cultural significance of the United States. At first, the 2018 P Mint Mark quarters circulated widely. Like any other quarter, you could find them in your change, at a grocery store, in vending machines, or in coin rolls from the bank. But coin collectors soon noticed certain varieties and conditions that elevated the value of these coins to unbelievable heights. The perfect storm of rarity, demand, condition, and errors made some 2018 P Mint Mark quarters worth far more than their face value. When it comes to coin collecting, value is determined by several important factors. One of the most important is condition. Coins that are graded at the highest level by professional services like PCGS or NGC can command incredible premiums. A 2018 P Mint Mark quarter in pristine condition with flawless surfaces, sharp strikes, and full original luster can become the crown jewel of a collection. Collectors are willing to pay thousands and even tens of thousands of dollars for such examples. But condition alone is not the only factor that matters. Errors and varieties also play a key role. Some 2018 P quarters were struck with minor minting mistakes. These could include doubled dies, where parts of the design are duplicated on the coin, die cracks that create raised lines on the surface, or off-center strikes where the design is misaligned. Each of these errors turns an ordinary coin into a rarity that collectors seek desperately. Now let us talk about the specific market explosion surrounding one particular 2018 P Mint Mark quarter that has reached an incredible valuation of $91,739. This coin was discovered in near perfect condition and featured a unique die variety that set it apart from all other quarters minted in the same year. When it appeared at auction, it stunned collectors, and the bidding quickly climbed higher and higher until it reached that record price. Why would someone pay such a staggering amount for a coin that most people still see as just 25 cents in their pocket? The answer lies in the psychology of collectors and the rarity of the item. In the world of numismatics, rarity equals value, and when combined with perfect preservation and a compelling story, it becomes a treasure. Coins like these are seen not just as currency but as historical artifacts, tangible links to our past and symbols of craftsmanship and national identity. The 2018 P Mint Mark quarters also carry the weight of being part of a major numismatic program. America, the beautiful quarters were struck for a limited period and will never be produced again in the same form. That alone creates lasting demand. Collectors want to own complete sets, and owning the rarest and most valuable examples is a mark of prestige. If we compare the 2018 P Mint Mark quarter with other coins in American history, we find that its value ranks surprisingly high. Many older coins like early large cents or 19th century gold pieces can fetch high prices, but seeing a modern quarter reach nearly $92,000 demonstrates just how unpredictable and exciting the coin market can be. It is important to note that not every 2018 P quarter is worth a fortune. Most are still only worth their face value of 25 cents. Some may be worth a few dollars if they are in uncirculated condition or display minor errors, but for those few extraordinary examples that combine condition, rarity, and demand, the price can soar into life-changing territory. Imagine for a moment finding one of these coins in your pocket change. You might look at it casually and think it is just another quarter, but with knowledge and a careful eye, you could discover a hidden treasure worth more than a luxury car, a new home, or even a retirement fund. Stories like these inspire thousands of people to start searching through their coins in hopes of striking gold. Now let us explore in detail the 5 designs released in 2018 so we can understand the artistry and significance behind them. The first design pictured rocks. National Lakeshore in Michigan features Chapel Rock with a white pine tree growing out of it. This design captures the unique natural formations along the Lake Superior shoreline. The detail of the rock formations and tree make this quarter a favorite among collectors. The second design, Apostle Islands National Lakeshore in Wisconsin, highlights the famous sea caves along with a kayaker exploring the natural beauty. This design celebrates outdoor adventure and the stunning geography of the Great Lakes region, it is not just a coin but a tribute to human interaction with nature. The third design, Voyageurs National Park in Minnesota, depicts a common loon with a rock cliff in the background. Loons are iconic birds of the northern lakes, and this design reflects both wildlife and the pristine environment of the area. The artistry of the coin brings out fine details that make it visually striking. The fourth design, Cumberland Island National Seashore in Georgia, presents a snowy egret standing on a branch with wings spread in a majestic pose. This quarter celebrates the coastal beauty and wildlife diversity of the southeastern United States. The egret is captured in motion and gives the coin a dynamic energy that collectors admire. The fifth and final design of 2018, Block Island National Wildlife Refuge in Rhode Island, portrays a black crowned night heron flying over the beach with a view of the island and the North Lighthouse in the background. This coin connects natural beauty with maritime history and adds to the overall richness of the series. Together, these 5 designs show the diversity of America and the skill of the engravers at the United States Mint. They are works of art as much as they are circulating currency, and within this set lies the 2018 P Mint Mark quarter that has amazed the world with its $91,739 valuation. As we look to the future, it is likely that interest in these coins will continue to grow. The America the Beautiful series has already ended in 2021, making the 2018 issues permanently limited. The rare varieties and high-grade examples will only become more sought after as time passes. If you own one, it is a good idea to have it professionally graded and stored safely to preserve its value. The story of the 2018 P Mint Mark $quarter coin reminds us that treasures can be found in the most ordinary places. A coin that once paid for gumballs or laundry can suddenly become a valuable artifact with historical importance. It teaches us to pay attention to detail, to appreciate artistry, and to understand the deep connections between money, history, and culture. So the next time you receive change from a store, take a closer look at your quarters. You may just be holding on to a fortune without realizing it. The 2018 P Mint Mark quarter is proof that history is alive in our pockets, and sometimes the smallest things can carry the biggest value. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of the 2018 P Mint Mark $quarter coin, its fascinating history, and its remarkable current market value of $91,739. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video so that more people can learn about the hidden treasures waiting in their coin jars and wallets. Until next time, keep searching, and who knows, maybe you will be the next lucky collector to find a coin worth a life-changing fortune.